Good afternoon, my friends. I have been marveling at the joy of parenting from play, and I wanted to give a couple of tips for my parents out there in recovery, especially parents who stay at home with their kids or just are around their kids, while you're in recovery. And it's a tricky situation. So here's a couple of my main tips. Number one is elevate your mood with your kids. If you are rewiring your brain and recovering from chronic illness, you're going to need to be elevating your mood. Children can be stressful, but they also really like to have fun. So, watching things like physical comedy, there's a guy named Daniel LaBelle on YouTube here who has some very kid appropriate, also limbic appropriate videos that are fun to just binge watch. Anything like that, anything funny or interesting it's good for your limbic system might also be fun for your kids. Mood elevators that are good for your inner child, like watching Bob Ross paint or watching Mr. Rogers. Those things are great for your inner child and your kids. Just do it with your kids. And that's something that can be a shift for a lot of parents when a lot of times when we have limbic impairment, we've been trying to parent from a place of perfection and control. And, it can go either way, either overly chaotic and no control, or we're overly controlling and there's no leeway. So overall, though, just include your kids in your mood elevation practice. It's a great, laugh with them, sing with them, dance with them, make jokes with them, point out pretty colors with them, talk about good things with them. Children are, also hardwired for happiness. That's the name of Annie Hopper's book, who did who wrote DNRS or whatever. She talks about that. But children, they're much easier to influence into a positive state, and your kids are going to follow your emotional state, period. So when you elevate with them, it's a great way to bond with your kids and also rewire your brain at the same time and just make your home a much more joyful place. It's not always easy, but it does work well. And screen time is okay. I want to remind, like, if you're in recovery, this is a temporary phase. If you need Mary Poppins to babysit your kids, or you're watching funny things with them for an hour in a row, curled up on the couch in front of your phone or on your bed or whatever, and the iPad, like, it's okay. It's okay. They're going to remember that they had a great time with mom or dad, cuddled up on, with them and laughing with them and feeling loved and safe. The screen time bit is not the most important thing. The second thing is train your children around your practice. So when you need to go, if you're doing like DNRS or Gupta or any structured program where you're going to go do a practice and you need to not be interrupted for a period of time, make it non-negotiable, make it regular, plan something for that child. Make sure they've got something to play with, coloring. You give them an iPad if you need to for that time. Make sure that it's not available all the time, so it's still special. Even when my kids were little, I started out, I had a 7-year-old. Oh God, I can't think. It was 7, 5, 3, and 2 1-year-olds when I started this. And I would put my 1-year-olds, put up a baby gate, make sure they were safe, give them toys. And then I went into the walk-in closet of the master bedroom and locked the master bedroom door and went into the master closet and closed the door. I had locked the fridge because one time I went and did my rounds and I came out and my son had gotten into the eggs in the fridge and he'd cracked them on the table and he was playing with the raw eggs when I came out, and I was like, well, that could have been worse. It was pretty funny. So, but train them. You just create a structure and just do it every day. And it's like, this is it. This is the practice time. This is what we do. You're doing this. I'm doing this. I'll be out. It's a matter of informing your child of what's happening. You're not giving them a choice. They're not the adult. You are. So, if you need to take a moment, take your moment, go to the bathroom. Mommy's going to the bathroom. Daddy's going to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Whatever, you make sure they're safe and then go do what you need to do for whatever you're doing. That's just, and then over time, they'll get used to it. Right. And there's times where I would tell my kids, like, I'm activated right now. Mommy's activated. I'm having a hard time being calm. We need to be quiet right now. Right. It's not always this way, but right now, if we want to have fun, we need to work together. Okay. You guys need to be, I need you right now to be quieter than usual. And then we're going to be able to have a really fun evening. We're going to be able to enjoy our dinner and do this other thing and give them some sort of like, and then we'll be able to do this nice thing. And right now we need to work together. And I would also remind them, like, how it is. If I get too triggered, it's not going to be fun for any of us. And we know that. So let's work together so we can all have a good time. It's just cooperation. The last one is the hardest and also the most important. Regulate yourself first. If you are, again, remember, you are the adult in the situation. You are the one setting the emotional tone for your child. If they're dysregulated, and that's dysregulating you, so if they get upset, if they're having a tantrum, they're emotional, they're angry, they're whining a lot, etc., and you get to the point where it's triggering you so much, you're about to, pop off into some crazy limbic loop and lose your cool in a massive way and lose your regulation in a way that will take you hours or days to get back. That is the point in time where you want to say, I'm going to put my child in a safe place and I'm going to go regulate myself before I try to regulate them. If you are dysregulated, you cannot calm the situation down. You're not able, you don't have that to give in that moment. This is really, really hard because generally in parenting culture, in ideal situations, the child's needs are always the priority. But ultimately, on a mechanical level, if we're dysregulated, we can't regulate our child. It's impossible. And if we're in a place where, again, we're going to spin out and it just is going to create, a 3-hour to 3-day ebb on our part, that's not going to assist our child in any way. They're better off, in a room or somewhere contained and safe, screaming and crying for 15 minutes while you're in the bathroom with headphones on, calming yourself down so you can then go calm them down. That's more productive in the bigger picture than trying to sacrifice the sanity you don't have in that moment to try to calm them down. So this is hard-earned advice. Those are my 3 biggest tips for today. If you are a parent in recovery, and just have faith and trust, trust your process, put yourself first, and look for more of this kind of content for me because it'll probably be coming. This is an important topic for a lot of folks, and know that you're not alone. You can recover as a parent. It's not easy, but it is possible. It is so worth it. Your children are going to get the brain patterns you use the most. Rewiring your brain is a #1 parenting technique for you if you have limbic system impairment. Love you guys.